I made it in only, let's see, how many minutes late am I? 10. That's not so bad. So, happy Saturday morning, everybody. Let's see who's here to participate in said shenanigans. Rada, Genex, Pat, Amanda, good to see you. Vital. Sorry to keep you waiting. Fairy Goddess. Good morning. Good morning. So, my Lord, what a wild few weeks, or 2 weeks, I'll say, it's been around here on YouTube, just across the board. I shared a community post the other day. I do want to touch on this quickly. I mean, it may not, a lot of you may not have any idea what I'm talking about, but it's regarding a big channel. So I've been sort of sucked in and down the rabbit hole on this. Good morning, Finding Hope. Hey, Sasquatch. Oh, listen, thumbs down this. Hey, Silly Wabbit, welcome. I've been down the rabbit hole on some of this red pill versus, I guess, like they call it blue pill or whatever stuff, because it's just really fascinating to watch these creators debate on stuff that to me just seems like, I don't know. It's really interesting. But anyway, there's a big channel, and I think their whole premise is like how to date and be like a high quality man. I've talked about this before. The channel's called Fresh and Fit. Anyway, they're losers, I think, and they're just obnoxious. It's hard to listen to them, in my opinion, but it is at the same time entertaining. I don't think that's the show Lauren was on, De Laguna. I think she was on the Whatever podcast, but they're all kind of under that same umbrella. But anyway, they were did a live stream. I mean, I think it was like 24 hours ago with Scott Ritter. Is anybody familiar with Scott Ritter and who he is? Yes, no. I just couldn't believe like there wasn't much blowback in the live chat. There was 3,000 people watching this stream, and it just like lit a fire under my ass because this guy was a CIA spook or whatever. He did something with the CIA, and then he was like hired to run a government agency back in the 90s to go over to the Middle East and look for weapons of mass destruction. And I'm not even going to get into that. I'm not really a political person, and I don't know all the details, but I do know about this guy. So his name is Scott Ritter, and they're interviewing him and talking about how cool he is and like all this stuff he did, and he's exposing the government and what really went on in the Middle East during that time. But not once did it come up that he's a convicted sex offender who served time for unlawful contact with minor, corruption of minors, and indecent exposure. And he's a pro-Russian propagandist. Like, all they were talking about was just like how cool of a guy this is. And it just like really bothered me. This is the kind of stuff that when I am in other chats or I'm talking to people and I'm like, listen, like if you're about exposing, like there are such bigger creators that are like with huge audiences that are just putting a ton of like really distasteful, not even say distasteful, because that's up to the person to decide what they think is distasteful, but like, I don't know, just doing really grimy shit. And this is a good example of it. And that's something that I feel like, I don't know, I'd like to talk about that. I mean, then you have like, and that's going to segue into like the Thorpes, what's going on with them and the type of exposure they're getting, as well as what's going on in some of the smaller communities and like what we're using. Hey, Alex V. Yeah. So this guy, Scott Ritter. So like he I think what the appeal of him is because people think they're getting like these like government secrets out of him, and he's sharing like all these dirty deeds that the government did. Okay, fine. And he was talking a lot about like George W. and how like what happened with Saddam, and he's very pro like Saddam Hussein kept the radicals at bay, like the Taliban. I forget what and Al-Qaeda and all that stuff. There was another name for them, and I can't think of it right now. But the point I'm trying to make is like, he's a shitbag human. He's a convicted sex offender, pedophile. I mean, he was involving minors. Yeah, they are vital. I know sometimes we just have to kind of venture out a little bit. But anyway, so as I do a little more research on this, maybe I'll do like something dedicated to it, or maybe one of my friends will help me put together like a pre-recorded video to put out, just like as like a little bit more informative. But I'd be really disappointed to see this guy put around on these big channels doing interviews and stuff like that, because he's just a scumbucket. And it's just frustrating to see. And that's the kind of stuff that lights a fire under my ass. It's similar with like, so I guess there's a fine line. Like, we should talk about this, because this is what happens in like the drama and the Crama communities. Like, so do we want, and I'm just posing this as a question, even for myself, like, do we want to reward the bad behavior by talking about it, commentating on it, and holding panels and discussing it? I know you already knew what I was thinking, finding hope. Or do we ice them out and give these people no attention, right? It's kind of like, it's such a slippery slope, because I like to sometimes talk about like the craziness that's going on. What I don't want to talk about is like people's relationships, their families, their kids, their jobs. Like, I want to talk about the fuck shit they do on the internet that makes them look like a fool, right? Or if somebody's, perpetuating lies, or is, just intentionally stirring up shit in chats. Like, that's drama light, like diet drama, whatever you want to call it. That's fun to me because it's pretty surface and we can battle back and forth, or, without attacking people's personal situations. But I feel like, I feel like we've already breached the point of no return on that. So I don't know. I guess I just have to either love it or leave it, right? What are you talking about, Vital? Stuck with me? Hold on. I want to see the YouTube side of chat. I can't without. I'm really trying to figure out how to better navigate this stuff. Hold on. I'm going to wrench some people. Hold on a second, guys. Sorry, guys. I feel like I probably should drop a link, because sometimes this time of day works out perfect for me and sometimes it doesn't. And there was a, oh God, I'm getting no, I don't, this stupid computer, I don't know how to fix that. My schedule got changed up a little bit this morning. It kind of disrupted the routine, so I apologize. Scamming money, that's another big one, yeah. But I think also, like, there is, let's talk about Crama for a second. There is a constant state of chaos in Crama at the moment. There is just warring factions. Hey, Dulcie Betty. People at each other's throats. You have alliances breaking up. I think the most recent was the Crafton and Kim Lycan alliance just fell apart. It's really hard to understand why, because obviously we're not behind the scenes. We don't know what's going on in these group chats and these mod chats and these discords and things like that. But there is this constant state of chaos over there right now. And it's like every day it's something new, but it seems to often center, the root of the issue is like, I think relationships that occur via YouTube and then just too much information getting out. Sausage Dave scam people out of me. I don't know do I know who Sausage Dave is? And then you have like the chaos that's happening on the Vegas Valley side. And he's been being, exposed regularly by alcohol and Ambien and all of his bullshit and the way he treats people. But like he does stuff on the platform that needs exposing. Like, that to me is like a good fight, because he's just a dick face that does really, really shitty stuff. And he's like, he's just a slime ball. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop a link because I'm probably going to have to mute here and there. And I'm not going to be able to stay live as long as I was hoping to. But I'll drop the link just so if anybody wants to come up and has any thoughts on like the state of affairs in these smaller communities on YouTube and what makes it good content in a drama community. Is it the visceral destruction of one another, or is it the surface level stuff like bad takes, shitty streams, maybe somebody slipped up and said something they shouldn't on a live stream, things like that. I feel like that's what we should be discussing, not, people's maybe boyfriend, girlfriend, boyfriend relationships falling apart and then us using that as content. No, Rada did not pay me yet, so he is not allowed to participate in the channel until he pays his buy-in, which every 30 minutes goes up. The rate goes up. All right, let me do this. Let me drop this link here. I always screw this up somehow. Still learning. Somebody taught me and then I forget. Copy. Paste. I kind of wish when I purchased a laptop, I did a little better research. Fairy, that's so funny. See, Rada is not a waddling duck. I will not tolerate that over here, silly wabbit. He is a feisty chihuahua. All right, now, I did see something else interesting last night, and I know that Alex V was live and she talked about it. It's this weird, so Amanda and Hooker are back, and if you're from Crama, hey, Meatfoot, you probably remember them. Rebel and Steph, I really don't have much to say, Vital, about them because I don't know. I mean, Rebel, I've never had any immediate dealings with Rebel, or immediate, that's not the right word I'm looking for. I've never had dealings with Rebel other than him maybe yelling at me sometimes in a chat or blocking me, and I have nothing to say on Steph. So, but the Manda put out a video on her channel, so they're back. Okay, Manda and Hooker are back apparently on the platform. They have aligned with what looks like maybe Granny's watching side of the Cramasphere. Ooh, Cramasphere, that sounds good. And they put out a video, or Amanda did, saying that people are using her children in some sort of troll attempt. And, it almost came off as if she's accusing certain individuals of doing that, obviously without any sort of proof. I think a lot more of the interactions and the accusations are in the chat section of that video, which is frustrating to say the least, because unless these are the types of things, right? So this is when we control, but then when we take people's children and attach them to a thumbnail, or not a thumbnail, an account, an avatar, whatever, and start trolling, that's the line. Then the line's been crossed, right? And that's what I would think, we can all collectively agree that's going too far. And it takes something that could have been entertaining and fun back and forth, and it turns into bullshit now. And now anybody that comments on that specific issue, it's almost like then if you call out Manda and Hooker now, they're going to turn that into that you're somehow okay with what was done there. And it's frustrating because these Amanda and Hooker, Dorothy is ugh, I can't with her anymore. Listen, I don't have any recent experiences with her. She's another one. She kind of goes around looking for the worst of the worst and then covers it. And I want to cover it too. I mean, I want to recap what happened, but I want to try to do it somewhat without, exploiting people's pain. But I don't know. Is that even possible? I don't know. But when you, either agree or disagree with something, then it automatically makes you pro whatever that individual's opposition is, which may not be the case at all. Hey, Lana. Good to see you. Hope you're well. So Anyway, yeah. So I think what we should do is, oh my God, my little one's screaming, I want a new toy. That's like crazy, right? These kids, spoiled little knuckleheads. Exactly, fairy goddess. That is a perfect, you said my words perfectly. I have often said this. Two people can simultaneously be a jerk, right? Or be an asshole or be wrong, quite frankly. Like there's not always a right and a wrong. There's not always a good and a bad, right? Or the good side, the bad side, the villain and the hero. That is not always the case, especially in this sector, because often all parties involved are participating in some really nasty business. And the fake outrage foot, we'll get into that. So I think I said this the last time I was live, that Shiva had made a comment somewhere. I heard him say, and it stuck with me because I think it's important to discuss. Yeah, I wanted to too. Me too. The word selective outrage, right? So we all have to have selective outrage. Otherwise we would be outraged 24/7, right? So we pick and choose like what's important to us, like what hill are we willing to die on, right? And there's certain things that I come across that I want to talk about or discuss or debate that I am not budging on. Like I feel very strongly about, and I think it's wrong. So like the Scott Ritter thing, like platforming him and giving him a place to look like some American hero to me is wrong. And there is no convincing me otherwise. I am not keeping an open mind. I am not willing to hear why he should be. But then there's other situations that happen that I am willing to hear both sides. And then I can kind of form an opinion based on, the information provided. Yeah, Hooker and Amanda are now part of Crama. Pat, I'm just discussing all of my thoughts on the internet. Crama, Pat, is a true crime community. Oh, we can give a little history on that. Crama is a community that originally, what I think, hey Daria, good to see you, started as true crime because they were from the Chris Watts case, a lot of them. And then the Gabby Petito stuff, but then it snowballed into a drama community because a bunch of, I'm going to call them subs of a particular creator called Natasha Cooper, got mad at her, and then they all started channels to take her or to call her out, basically. And then that's where it evolves from. No, that's not. Oh, is that where the ponies came from, Fairy? Because I feel like Crama is more like the Watts Island people and the Gabby Petito people that just devolved into drama and wasn't about true crime, wasn't about victims, wasn't about cases, wasn't about covering cases, wasn't about like sleuthing or anything like that anymore, and just came about destroying one another. Whereas I thought the ponies came more from like the old original DC, like the drama communities, where it was always about drama. They were very upfront about it. And that is something else that pisses me off about Crama. They're starting to own that they're drama, but that took a long time. All of those creators would say, we're not drama. We're this, and this. And then we're just talking about this specific issue. It's drama. Oh, I don't know. Well, I'm sure if one of them's here. I don't know. Ponies were more DC than Crama. Yeah, I thought so, Foot. They were like original drama stuff. I think they occasionally talk about true crime stuff or a very popular case or a very public case or something that's trending. But I think they always claim to be DC, whereas the Crama people don't want to be labeled drama, but they are. And at this stage of the game, the last few months, they are the absolute, they are Boyd at this point. I don't even know if that's fair to Boyd, but they're tearing each other apart over there. Yes, Fairy. It might have been more of like us that came from the Michael Long community, because that was about that was more about like a scam, a Facebook scam that involved a crime, and debunking that and helping, like trying to bring awareness to the the father who was just lying and ripping off a bunch of people and raised a shit ton of money. I think it was either $500,000 or $750,000 in fundraising, which went to like some country western store and a used camper or something. Anyway, hi Mama Bubbles, welcome. So, but is it drama? It's like exaggerated trauma bonding. Yes, thank you. Well, yes, I think in Crama, it's an exaggerated trauma bonding community. And what happens is the hate bonding that goes on over there. And listen, I am not too proud to say that I haven't probably done that at times where like I see somebody that either I had a falling out with, which I don't really have falling outs with people, but somebody that I think did something pretty revolting and may jump in a chat to say, yeah, I agree or something like that. But what's that? Oh, no, that's, Amanda, you could, I don't care about that. You guys can put whatever you want. Name the channels. If there's something good that's coming that you think's worth somebody going and taking a look at, that does not bother me. You can put whatever you want in the chat. That's fine. I'm totally okay with that. You guys could, if there's anybody in here that has a channel that they want promoted, just ask a mod to drop your channel name and or somebody with a wrench, and they'll be able to do that. But yeah, a lot of groups come together. And listen, when a community falls apart, and I'm using the word community loosely, when there is a group of, let's say, channels on YouTube that are covering the same stuff, when that falls apart, they need to find new places to go. And often, like big swaths of them will be drawn to one one community, and then you got a bunch of people coming in. Like I found my way over to Crama through a friend, right? And then I found my way over to like the troll side of YouTube, which is made up of like some drama people, some trolls, like the people that troll intentionally and identify as trolls, and where some of the people that maybe used to be cop watchers or auditors hang out from another friend. So like I kind of can bounce around and see a lot of different stuff. And I like that. I like watching different things and seeing what's happening in different communities, because then I can also talk about whether or not it's like silly or important or whatever. Oh my gosh, this probably is not going to last very long because I have a feeling she's going to be very disruptive. Any hootsy wootsies. So let's see. What else is happening that I want to bring attention to? So we talked about the Lycan and Crafton and Kim falling out. So that alliance has broke up. So that's going to come with some clapback videos. We already know Crafton went live last night to call out Lycan. So I'm sure Lycan's going to respond to that. And then you'll have Tiffany over in the weeds making her little composts and stuff, because her goal at this point is to hurt Lycan. And then you'll have Granny saying, oh, good, this is a good distraction from me. And Angela releasing all my private messages. It's like such a tangled web. I mean, it is wild. Me and Finding Hope are talking about, like, remember the old whiteboard days, if anybody remembers from Lana? Like, I think she was one that did it first. Like if there was like a virtual or a whiteboard that I could use like on stream, but I just didn't want to have to buy software for something like that because I didn't even know where to begin. But I figured we need a whiteboard. We need line graphs. We need connecting, who's connected to who to tie all these stories together. Yes. Oh, Xylee, she does use one. Well, she uses a real whiteboard though, right? But Lana, I remember Lana's whiteboard. Wasn't she the one that was like putting all the conspiracies, the craziness that she was coming out with? Didn't she use one too? Oh, Lana. Yeah, listen, I don't have a dog in a lot of these fights, right? But right is right and wrong is wrong. And there are people that do things just to be cruel, right? And I feel like there's a huge difference between that and then the people that engage back and forth, because there's a current thing happening. Yeah, Lana used it. It was all wild and crazy, and she'd write like really weird shit on it. But it would be you would need one to understand the history here because worlds collide, right? So if I'm up here with people that I've been like friends with, let's say for a few years, and they're battling with somebody, and I hear that side of the story, I'm gonna end up being involved because I'm gonna want to defend my friend, and then there we go. Now there's a new group of people involved, right? Oh my gosh. Dulce, I'm not even going to say that name of that store because it will become like she'll become obsessive about it and say it 1,000 times today to go there. If she probably going to hear me say that, and that's going to trigger that response. That one and this one, I'll type it in the chat, are like the constant requests, which actually I do need to go to, but not today. Oh yeah, mine's even younger than that. So trust me, I get it. I get it. So I like, so kind of going back to what I was talking about in the beginning, this is like when I needed a break from hearing, especially in the Cramaverse, because I did need a break. I was so sick of the liking, granny watching, Tiffany debacle, like, because they were at that point this is my opinion. Okay. So this is my opinion and my opinion only. They were all being jerks, right? They were all being assholes. They were all doing fucked up shit. And I was like, so over like the insanity of it all. Right. That's when I sort of ventured out. I was still hanging out over on the DC side and, like I said, the troll side and stuff, and watching what was going on there. But that's when I started watching more of these debate channels. That's also how I stumbled upon the Thorpes. Now, who is familiar with this Thorpe family? Because this is a whole nother kerfuffle. And let me tell you something, it is hard to look away. And I know that, again, I'm kind of contradicting myself and being a hypocrite when I say like, because I often say like ice people out and stuff. But I kind of mean that more in like the more intimate channels where it's like going too far and people are hurting one another and things like that. Whereas the Thorpes, I feel like I'm more like watching a TV show. And maybe that's a really shitty attitude to have. But my Lord, I really would love your guys' opinions that have followed this. Just a hard stop. Is it real or fake? That's what I would like to know first. Is it real or is it fake? That's my number one question. I know, Fairy, and by watching them, and it does contribute to their dysfunction, but I am kind of still leaning on the side of a lot of it is shtick, but I still don't know if it's not and this stuff is really going on, then, oh my Lord, I don't know. I don't know. There's a guy or a channel. It's real, but exaggerated. Exactly. The last time I talked about them, I said there's definitely some real to it because there's police records and stuff, right? But they have to be embellishing or adding or whatever to this craziness. Grace went from like 100 subs to 3,000 really, really quick, but that's their goal. They are so hungry. I've never seen well, maybe, but they are desperate for clicks and views. I mean, they will do anything. And they're kind of cross-platforming with people on Kick and Twitch and Rumble. And they're involved now with these like, I want to call them like the IRL streamers, but they're not like the Ice Poseidon people. They're a little bit different. It's a different group. There was a kid, well, I call him a kid, that I stumbled upon his channel on YouTube, which I think he just uses to show maybe what he's doing on Twitch because they're pre-recorded, but he's live somewhere. Oh, Jen, don't be silly. You've had a long 24 hours. Don't be silly. It's fine. So he went out and visited the Thorpes. And he was wanting to date Grace. Again, don't know if it's shtick. I think this guy's whole MO is that he's like trying to get as many women as he possibly can or something. Shit, what is his name? Hold on. I have it in my phone. I saved it specifically because I want to be able to. What is his name? Darius. His name is Darius. And he went out there. So if you just type in Darius or Darius Thorpes, you'll see everything. And this also, interestingly enough, his experience with the Thorpes had brought Destiny back out to comment on the Thorpes, who I really, really like Destiny. I know he's polarizing. Some people think he's the worst. Some people think he's the best. I enjoy him. I enjoy his takes. I enjoy his debating style. He's so good at it. And he is able to cite why he feels a certain way based on science and statistics and things. And he does a really, really good job at it. So I recommend that. But this guy, Darius, this kid, went out there and he spent a couple days there. He came back, he uploaded some recordings of conversations he had with the oldest brother who I'm going to say, quote unquote, got away, or he didn't want to be part of like streaming their entire personal life for content. Yeah, she needs to get away. I agree, Fairy. I'll come back to that. And it's really the brother confirming that there's definitely some nasty, disgusting business going on between the dad and and Grace. So, I mean, that is sick. That it's sick and it's dangerous. And here's the thing. She defends that. Like, she defends the relationship she has with her dad. Oh my God. Am I on mic? This craziest thing just happened, guys. Hold on. Sorry. I didn't mean to do that. I don't know if you heard that ringing through my mic. Okay. Yeah, I'm still. My kid's cell phone, he must have been using these headphones and it connected, I guess. And I just was like, turn off your Bluetooth. It's connecting to my headset. He was upstairs. Oh God. That was funny. Now I lost where I was. So Darius exposes that his conversation with John, and basically John confirming that there's definitely something weird going on. Thank you, Amanda, with dad and sister. So that's interesting. I'm sure other bigger channels are going to cover this. I'm just like dabbling and just wanted to share that little bit with you guys and point you in the direction of the this Darius person. What a mess over there. But Destiny covers the Thorpes, or he doesn't cover them, but he gives his commentary on them, and he debates Darius, this guy Darius. Go on your YouTube. I could probably drop a link here, but I would share it and we could watch it together right now, but I'm just afraid that we'll start it and then I'll have to end the stream. So I don't know, Pat. I thought initially it was, but now, like, according to the brother, they were sleeping in the same bed. I mean, we're not talking about a dad and their 5-year-old, you know, like where the kid climbs in the bed at night, they're scared or whatever. Like, my toddler still sleeps with me a lot of the nights, but we're talking about a 20-year-old woman. So Pat, I think they've cornered the market on cringe and shock value. And I don't know if they're just willing to traumatize the younger kids to just become quote unquote YouTube famous, and just they don't care about how the world sees them because they think it's going to bring in money, or if they're just this sick in the head that this is happening and they're putting it out on the internet. I don't know, Pat. That's the ultimate question here. Is it a LARP? Is it shtick? Or is this really happening in front of our eyes live, right? Yes, I sent you, yes, Finding Hope. I sent you the one of the clips was the Darius Destiny Ben debate. And I think the title of it is Ben threatens to kill us or something like that. Kill Destiny. Yeah, if it's pretend, it's terrible. If it's not, then God help us. But so currently, Fairy, my understanding is that the minor children, there's a protective order now. The minor children are with mom, and there's a protective order that Ben can't go near them. I'm not I'm not a FOIA kind of person. I'm not that invested. Ben is telling the world that that there is no order, but the other side is saying that there is. So we shall see. We shall see. That is a rabbit hole that I feel like, you know what that family reminds me of as far as like from a YouTube standpoint, content standpoint. Remember Latity? It's like really fucked up and really crazy situation that is filled with like trauma, drama, chaos, and we cannot stop watching. No, something must have happened. I kind of took a step away from watching them, Pat, and I recently kind of got back into it, and that is the current. What's currently being said is that the mother got a protective order for the minor kids to keep dad away, and dad is arguing that you can't get a protective order unless there is a threat of harm, where he said, you know, he's the most amazing guy in the world and he would never harm anybody. So that's all we know. But Fairy, I know we could. I just haven't gotten that invested yet, but I'm sure somebody will. Yeah, Letitia, I don't even know what happened to her. I knew she went to jail, but it kind of reminds me of that. Like here we were watching this woman living out of her car, pregnant, using, I think she was smoking marijuana and turning tricks and doing all this bizarre stuff, live streaming it. We're watching it unfold. Well, Fairy, you go, girl. Watching it unfold, and maybe we were part of the problem for contributing to it. I know we are. I often will go on my own like soapbox and start to say, like, especially like over in Crama, just to kind of go back to that, like, why can't, like, I will say when I'm in a chat, I've done this before and I own this, like, can't you just all like forget each other's existence and move on and find something else to talk about? Or there's like bigger fish to fry, or like do drama the right way. But there I am contributing, watching, commentating. I'm talking about it now on my channel, which is obviously I'm not here for the, I'm just here because I like talking to people. Hey, Nevaeh. Oh, Ashy Cat, thank you, Finding Hope. That's another great example. So, this is not something new, what's going on with the Thorpes. It may be a new storyline that we're not used to, but it's not new to have these train wrecks expose their entire life and then make a lot of money off of it. Because Ashy Cat was another one. That's probably the first time I ever saw like something like that was so shocking playing out on YouTube. Yeah, there's definitely a psychiatric component to Letity. She did. Dulcie, she did. And the child was rescued, right? So when we're talking about Letity, the child was rescued. Thank God. They took that baby. Hopefully, God willing, the baby's in a safe place and all is right in that baby's world. Whereas with the Thorpes, we had these minor children living in the home with all this other crazy stuff going on, constantly live streaming. They all had channels. They put out the payroll the other day, or somebody did, for the Thorpe family, and how they're paying. Let me see if I can find it. Hold on. And if I can share it with you guys. Basically what it was the Thorpe payroll, and it was something about grace. Hold on. I want to say it right. This was wild. I hope somebody put it on a community post so I can just read it. It basically said it was a screen grab of this like payroll form, right? That's the best way I can explain it. Like, it looked like a Word document that was made to look like payroll, and it had each family member's name and what they were getting paid for streaming. Like, to just start a stream, you'll get $25. We're talking about little kids. Well, it's true, Hope. It is. But so how do we separate, I guess we don't. I guess we're just here to talk about it. We can't separate it. We can't separate what's going on with Letity and the Thorpes from what we're seeing in Crama or drama or the quote unquote Troll 1A community where it's very different over there, though. I feel like when there's battles happening between creators over there, they go back and forth and they kind of move on, or they find like a common enemy or something. I don't know. It just doesn't, it's bad enough, but like, maybe it's just not dragged out as long. If anybody can kind of understand what I'm saying, if you participate in all these communities, where I feel like when we're looking at Crama, like this anti-liking campaign that's been going on for however long has been like incessant. Like, I'm over it. Find somebody else to talk about. Like, are you kidding me? This has been going on since him and Granny were dating. No, I know, Fairy, but you guys were like, I think I said before, like cop watchers or auditors or whatever, or you were people that watched the 1A stuff. And then there was like the people that identify as trolls, like they kind of merged, and here we are. Because there's no cop watching or auditing going on over there. But there is a lot of like, maybe they are like the anti-rebel community, where like Crama was at first the anti-Natasha Cooper community. That might be a kind of better way to understand it. Yeah. So it's just a melting pot now, like worlds collide, right? Worlds collide, and then we hear all this. Oh my God, Amanda, I can't. It's like, and now that him and Crafton and Kim had a falling out, it's just going to rehash all the same shit we already know. I'm sure. Where's my prize? I'm sure we're going to get some screenshot dumps and group chat dumps and all that other stuff. Because let me ask you a question. Am I the only person in the world that, first of all, I'm not in any group chats. I want to put that right out there. But when I was, okay, or a mod chat, I never, ever screen recorded or screenshot a private chat that I was in. Ever. For like safekeeping for future use when I don't like these people anymore. I have never done that. I have never done it in a private conversation. I don't know if maybe I should be doing that. Am I like the idiot? But I'm sorry, Amanda, I trigger some people, so I'm sure I'll get some comments. But she's just asking when she's going to get a new prize. I don't know. She's watching something and she's obsessing about that. But some people get really bothered by that. Listen, it's my house. I don't care. It's not like she's saying anything naughty or fresh. It's going to happen. I have a toddler. What am I going to do? Hey, LG, good to see you. But I have never done that, like in anticipation for future use. I have never said I need to be prepared for when things go bad. But I also don't do dirty shit behind the scenes, because I just don't. It's silly to me. Like, I don't have any agendas on YouTube. I'm just here to talk to people, comment on stuff that I see, and hopefully laugh. Like, I like laughing. Thank you, Amanda. I know it's like, but people are weird. They weaponize stuff. And then there was something else I wanted to say too that made me think about like the Vegas Valley stuff. I know I'm jumping around, but I'm going to have to wrap up because she's going to get feisty unless somebody else wants to come up and talk and they can run my show. But this is something that Vegas Valley did recently that I think we should all, if you don't follow him or watch him or want to give him attention, that's fine. But this is like an absolute no-no. And this, to me, like, this lit a fire under my ass as well. He actually said that if you don't dox yourself, right? If you are a person that's on here with like a screen name like Naughty Audie, Finding Hope, Amanda Meatfoot, Pat S, whatever, LG, and if you don't dox yourself to him, then he will always assume you're a predator, pedo, some sort of criminal mind. How twisted and sick is that line of thinking, right? Like, I am, that got me so riled up. I was like, but of course I'm blocked. I don't think I've ever said a word in that guy's chat. I might have made like one point once that was probably good, and then I got blocked. So I can never go over there and just give him a piece of my mind. And plus, if you do, he's going to research you, try to find you, dox your entire family from heaven to hell, or whatever that saying is. It's nuts. Let's see. Yeah, exactly. Finding Hope. Like, if you don't do anything, so absolutely insane that you feel like you need to protect yourself because something in the long run is going to come out. Well, he's got his own issues. Oh, Amanda, that is a whole nother thing. I mean, I don't know. Do you think her intent though was like, I'm going to dox these people at one time? Because I don't feel like Natasha's crazy in her own way, but I don't think maybe she is an affair. I don't know. I don't know her well enough, but this guy is malicious. This guy is like, his position is like, I don't swing first. I only hit back. By the way, he's supposed to be a cop watcher, which I've never seen him do in this entire time that he's invaded my YouTube space. But he just purposely is an asshole. So anyway, I was on a Vegas Valley rant. I'm probably going to have to wrap this up. Okay, sorry guys, I had to get Sonic the Hedgehog out. Stuffed animal. The tornado is getting restless. Yeah, I'm going to wrap it up. I just wanted to come on here and vent and kind of recap all the crazy that's going on. I mean, if you don't know, there was, let's see. Sorry, I'm dusting off Sonic because he was in the other old side of the house in a guest room on the floor and he got a little dusty. Let's see what's going on in chat. Amanda, no, I hear that enough. I think this beautiful little Sonic here, he's not little, he's a big Sonic, will keep her busy for quite some time, though. Lonnie, you have a great weekend, too. Yes, it's 4th of July weekend, and I have a 4-day weekend. I'm very fortunate. So looking forward to that. We have some company tonight, me and the children. There he is. There's your big guy. And then I'm going to relax the rest of the weekend. Oh, and I got my new camper, which is super exciting for the people that don't know, but I feel like everybody knows because I was talking about it everywhere for like 24 hours. I was just so excited. So if it doesn't get too hot, good for you, Pat. I'm going to work on the old camper, getting that stuff cleaned out. Oh my God, that is so funny, Amanda. All right, well, I highly suggest, I always say I'm going to do this and then I don't do it, but I promise today I will do it. In the comment section or in the description, I'll put some of the links that I was referring to for the Thorpe stuff. I'm not going to link any Vegas Valley stuff because he's just a scumbag of a human and I'm not, like, you could obviously find him. He has 1 million bought and paid for channels filled with 20 to 50,000 subs also bought and paid for. So you guys will have no problem finding him if you want to bear witness to some of his cringe. And then, but the Destiny stuff, the Thorpe stuff. Oh, that other asshole pedophile, the one that was on Fresh and Fit. I'll link that stream. Oh, it's in my community tab, but I'll link it here as well if anybody wants to go see it and see who this guy is. Oh, Melissa Jade must be here. Sorry, Melissa. She just came over to say a few things. I know that's frowned upon. Hold on. What? I'm having Oh, why am I having a brain fart? See, my brain is checking out already. I have to eat lunch, I guess. Hold on. What the hell? See, I just didn't through all that. I was like ranting and raving. Scott Ritter. So I'll put the information about him because that's not like a surmise. This is well documented that he is a convicted sex offender who Fresh and Fit's entire I know I'm getting on a roll here, but their entire premise is on like how to be the most amazing man. It's like, it's that red pill shit, right? But then they panel this guy and on their in their live stream channel interview him where they have, I think at one point there was 5,000 people watching that stream. It's just so freaking annoying. Back to the basement with you. Tie her up and don't let her out until Christmas. Anyway, sorry guys, I got on a little bit of a rant there, but this was fun. I'm glad I could catch up. I'm going to really try to do better about scheduling these, like when I'm alone. The problem is that's rare, or like nap time, but that's also become quite unpredictable because I would like to have a little bit more like, longer streams where we can panel. And so this is a Kibble and Bits. Oh my God, you're too funny. Well, you're late to the game. You can watch the replay because I got to wrap up because the tornado is not having it. But yeah, so maybe like I said, do a little bit more research on this other shit. See who else is paneling this fool and allowing him to look like an American hero. Like that is the story they're selling. And I think that's what's probably like my initial gut reaction is like, why are you guys like swooning over this monster? Like, it's just, ugh. That's all I'm going to say. Ugh. Is that clear enough for you? And if I ever get my virtual whiteboard, then we can break down the Crama drama sphere and how they are destroying one another from the inside out. They are literally on the daily turning against each other. It's happening every day. Every day there's a new falling out. Well, yeah, there's some bending the knee, and that's more of like the Vegas kiss in the ring, bending the knee. Is that what you mean, Pat? Yes, I'm going to see if there's anybody. 152K views on that Fresh and Fit stream. This is how NATO's war on Russia has failed with Scott Ritter. Ugh. Ugh. Why do you want to be gagged? All right, I got to go. You guys have been great. Thank you for being such good participants in my conversation in the chat. Have a fabulous 4th of July. And if you're not celebrating the 4th of July, have a fabulous weekend. Be safe. Don't light any fireworks and blow off any digits. And I will catch you all next time. Bye.